Hello everybody and welcome back to another Blender Made Easy tutorial. Last week I did a video on creating a pile of rocks using the Cell Fracture add-on. I had a couple people ask me how to create an animation without showing the cracks in the object, so that is what this video is about. If you haven't seen the first video, I recommend watching it because I won't be going into detail with the Cell Fracture add-on. To get started, we're going to create a very similar animation to what we did in that last video. I'm going to go ahead and delete the default cube and then press Shift A and add in a UV sphere. With this UV sphere, we're going to drag it up, and before we apply the Cell Fracture add-on, we need to create the material. If you're going to add in a texture to this is the first step that we need to do. I'm going to right click and go Shade Smooth. Also over in the object panel, we're going to open up the normals and turn on Auto Smooth. This will also help with the shading when we apply the Cell Fracture. Over in the Material tab, we're going to create a new material, and then for the base color, we're going to select a texture. If you want to use the same texture as me, I'll put a link in the description. I'm going to click Open and then navigate to it. The texture that I'll be using is this one right here, and then I'll click on Open Image. If we press Z and go into Material Preview, we should already see the texture applied, and it looks pretty good. I'm going to split this view and switch this over to the UV image editor and then just scale up the texture just slightly. So I will press A to select everything and scale it up a little bit more. Something like that will look pretty good. From there, we can go ahead and close that off. We're not going to need it anymore. Next up, we're going to create a new material, and this material slot is going to be for the inside of the object. We'll select that same material that we just created and then click that 2 on the side. Now that we've done that, we are now ready to apply the Cell Fracture add-on. So if we press F3 and type in the word cell, you should see the Cell Fracture add-on right there. If you don't see this right here, make sure you go into your add-ons by going over to Edit, Preferences, and then underneath Add-ons, and make sure the Cell Fracture add-on is enabled right here. So once you have it enabled, go ahead and select it, and we're going to do some pretty similar settings that we did in the last video. So the source limit is going to be 400, the noise is going to be 1, the recursion is going to be 2, and the next setting is the material down here. We're going to set this up to 1. So the inside of the Cell Fracture will have this second slot material that we just created. If we click on OK, and it will start to chop up our UV sphere. Alright, it is finished. Now before you do anything else, I'm going to hit the M key and move it to a new collection. We'll just go with collection 2. So now our first collection has our original UV sphere, and our second collection has all of the different pieces. I'm going to press Z and go into wireframe and then box select all of these. Go over to this menu and turn on individual origins and then scale them down just slightly so they're not touching each other, just like this. And if we go over to collection 1, I'll press Z and go into material preview once again. We can see the texture is applied in the exact same position. So that is what we want. If we were to apply the texture after the Cell Fracture add-on has done its thing, the texture would not line up correctly. So that is why we need to do it at the beginning before we chop up our object. The next step is to create the animation. So what we're going to do is go over to the rigid body, and I'll just select one of them to make it my active object. I'll click on rigid body, and then underneath the surface responses, we'll drag it up to 0.9. Under the sensitivity, we're going to turn on collision margin and set this down to 0.001. The other thing we're going to do is open up the collections and make it so that it only interacts with objects in the second collection. We don't want any of the pieces to interact with the original UV sphere, so that is why we're going to set it to collection 2. Then of course we need to go over to object, down to rigid body, and then click on copy from active. This will apply every single setting now to all of the different pieces. Over in collection 1, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to select our UV sphere, click on rigid body, and then make sure the collection is on collection 1 and not 2. We don't want them interacting, so make sure they're in different collections. Finally, we'll add in a plane. I'm going to press Shift A, add in a plane, and scale this up pretty big. Rigid body, set the type over to passive, and then in the collections, if you hold the Shift key, you can click on multiple ones. So if I hold the Shift key and select the second collection, it'll select both of them. So now this UV sphere will interact with the plane, and all of the pieces in this collection will also interact with it. Let's bring back both the collections by holding Shift and then 1. And now we're going to play our animation to make sure everything is looking good. I'm going to go into solid view and hit the spacebar to play it. And another thing is you want to make sure the pieces are not peeking through this original UV sphere. So if, for example, this is slightly lower and you can see the pieces, that's not good. So make sure it is a little bit above. I'm going to restart that and just double check. And I think it looks good, but just to be safe, I'm going to scale it up just slightly. So scale up the original UV sphere just slightly. Now, if we play this, we can see this is what it looks like. Over in the scene panel, we're going to open up the rigid body world and set the steps per second up to 130, and then the solver iterations to 40. That looks pretty good, and now what we're going to do is actually animate when this original UV sphere disappears, because we only want it to show up a little bit in the animation. So now let's restart and play this. If we go frame by frame, we can see it crashes into the plane, and then on frame 22, we can see all of the pieces come out. So on frame 21, we're going to open up this menu and turn on the camera icon, and then hover your mouse over this icon and then hit the I key to add in a keyframe. Go to the next frame, frame 22, uncheck this, and then hit the I key one more time. So now it will disappear at frame 22 and all of the pieces will shoot outwards. If we restart and play this, we can see this is what it looks like. It's not going to show up in the viewport, but it will work in the render. So now we get to determine how long we want our animation to be. I think a animation of 110 frames will probably be good, to 110. And then in the end frame in the timeline, I'm going to set that to 110 as well. And then click on Bake. If we go over to Collection 2 and select one of our pieces, we can change the second slot material to be whatever we want. So if you want the inside of the object to be a little bit darker, you can do that very easily with this second slot material. Alright, I have set up a quick basic scene with some materials and some lighting, and I noticed though if I zoom in on our inside of our pieces right here, you'll notice the texture is very stretched. In order to fix that, we need to UV unwrap our object again. If we go to the second collection, I'll restart, box select all of those. What we need to do is go into edit mode, and we don't want to mess up the texture on the outside, so an easy way to do that is to press Alt A to deselect everything. Make sure the second slot material is selected and go select. So now it is only selecting the faces with this material slot. If we open up the UV image editor, you can see our texture is totally messed up. This is what our UV map looks like, and that's not going to work. So what we need to do is press U, Smart UV Project, OK. There we go, and now we've unwrapped our object, and now we can just scale this up to be about this size or so. If we select one of our pieces and go into Material Preview, you want to make sure the size of the texture matches, and I think that looks pretty good. So now if we jump over to this frame, you'll notice that the texture now looks good and there is no more stretching. So there you go, that is how you create an animation of an object breaking into a bunch of pieces seamlessly without any cracks visible. Thank you for watching this tutorial. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like and comment down below what you would like to see next. If you're interested, feel free to join the Discord, the link is in the description, and subscribe for more tutorials in the future. That's going to be it. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you in the next one.